Hi everybody, I'm Bhavika Gupta and today I'm making a video on tips to ace your bench exam. If you don't know me already, let me introduce myself. I am Bhavika Gupta. I am an internationally trained dentist from New Delhi, India. I have had 2 years of clinical experience back home, and now I'm in the University of Michigan ITDP program where I'll be completing my DDS licensure. So now what do I know about bench exams and why am I giving you tips? Well, during my application process for the ITDP programs all across the US, I appeared for 3 bench exams. USC, University at Buffalo, and University of Michigan. So here I am sharing my learnings during my admissions process and making sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I did while I was preparing for the bench exam. Without further ado, let's get to it. In this particular video, I will be only focusing on crown preps and not the class 2 restorations. I will give you these tips. The timestamps are mentioned in the description box below. If you want, you can skip to the tip that you want to listen to without wasting any time. Tip number 1, evaluate yourself while you're prepping. I highly suggest that you get ball burnishers, probes, or hatchets like these and measure their working ends using a gauge caliper like this. You can easily find it online. So if you know what the measurement of the working end is, for example, this particular ball burnisher measures to be 1 mm, then I can use this ball burnisher to measure how much clearance I have between the natural tooth and the prep that I'm doing. So if you're making these measurements while you're prepping, you can calibrate your prep according to the ideal measurements that you're supposed to get. This way, 1, you're saving time as well as energy while you're prepping the tooth, and 2, you're training your eye to sort of know how much 1 mm is or how much 1.5 mm is. And that way you can make more accurate decisions during your bench exam day. And this training doesn't just train you for the bench exam, but also your clinical life. So make sure that you know the measurements of basic instruments like ball burnishers, probes, hatchets, which are generally common amongst all bench exams. Tip number 2, final check before your submission. And make sure that you check the margins, the clearance, as well as the final finesse of the prep. The margins of the prep should be supragingival. They should be less than 1 mm above the gingival margin. And the margins should be even all around the prep. Moreover, the margin width should be the ideal width of the particular prep that you're making. So if you're making an all ceramic crown, the margin should be 1 mm wide. If it's less than 1 mm wide, it won't be good for you. For the ideal measurements of the different crown preps that we do and that we need to know for the bench exam, check out the description box of this video where I share all the details. It should not be under reduced and it should most definitely not be over reduced. Again, for the ideal measurements of the ideal tooth preps that we need to know for the bench exam, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and check out the description box of this video. And yes, of course, the prep should be smooth. It should not have any roughness. It should not have any pointy edges, and everything should be rounded off. Tip number 3, avoid these 3 cardinal mistakes at all costs. The 3 cardinal mistakes are: number 1, insufficient clearance or insufficient reduction. Number 2, J margins. And number 3, undercuts. These 3 cardinal mistakes can significantly reduce the prognosis and increase the failure rate of the crown that you deliver clinically. So make sure that you know about these mistakes and do whatever is possible to avoid them. Tip number 4, don't chase the speed, chase the skill, and the speed will come to you on its own. Funny story. So my very first crown prep in a patient in a clinical setting took me 3 hours to complete. Just the crown prep. I'm not even talking about making a provisional or taking an impression. I'm talking about just the crown prep. Thankfully, the patient was very nice and they kept their mouth open during those 3 hours. We did, of course, take a lot of breaks, but I'm so happy that they did not dump me as a dentist after the procedure. So while you're training and learning this new skill of crown preps, especially if this is the first time you're doing it and you've not had prior experience, it's okay to take a long time to complete a crown prep. So definitely worry about first getting the skill rather than worrying about your speed. And if you practice enough and do a lot of crown preps, you can decrease your prepping time and increase your skill. The more you do, the faster you'll get. It took me these many crown preps to go from 3 hours to barely an hour. And then even more preps to make sure that I can ace a crown prep in under 20 to 30 minutes. Although I'm still learning, I do hope in the next few months I can bring it down to about 10 minutes per crown prep. We're all work in progress, so make sure that you don't beat yourself up too much about it. And make sure that you practice, practice, and practice. These were the tips I had for you today, and I hope they provided value to you, and I hope they help you improve your perspective of bench exam and how to prepare for it. Moreover, I think that these tips won't just help you for the bench exam, but for clinical life in general, because these are the tips that I use daily for myself and how I evaluate myself and how I push myself to improve prep after prep after prep. I evaluate myself, I critique my own preps, I don't make any cardinal mistakes. And yes, of course, working on my speed is a lifelong journey. If you like these tips, like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions about the bench exam or anything dental related, put them in the comments below. You can even follow me on Instagram at this handle. If you want me to make a video demonstrating crown preps, comment below crown prep and I will think about it. That's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.